And good evening, everyone. This thought I just do a short video to give y'all the updates of what's coming up around the corner. Let me see, can I get my screen to be like this? Hold on, y'all. Hopefully that'll be better. Okay. Let me see if I can do anything else. Let me see. Share, enable. I don't see anything here. So just have to bear with it. So the title of this video is the Equinox, the East Point, the New Moon, the New Year, and Abib. Okay, so what y'all see before you is a picture. Just want to give y'all a heads up that the spring equinox is around the corner. If you look on the Gregorian calendar known as the Roman calendar or the fourth beast calendar that Daniel talks about in chapter 7, you would notice that on the 20th day of March, they have the spring equinox. Now, those who have been studying the heaven, we are aware that we first have to look at the time and date that began in Israel. And the reason why we do that, because the prophets have given us certain signs to let us know that we are in the last days. Also, they have given us certain signs who are the Israelites. And one of the signs is when the things that we see in heaven don't operate in their proper order. Okay. Remember, we go back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. The lights, which are the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. Mazzaroth is the Hebrew word for the 12 star constellations that today the people call it the zodiac sign. Okay. So these lights are given us as a sign as well. Okay. So when we look at the spring equinox, according to Israel time, and the time I'm looking at is dealing with the time in Arad, Israel. Okay. And according to the equinox day, their equinox began on, let me see here, on March the 20th at 11:24 p.m. March the 20th at 11:24 p.m. Now I'm aware because we're in different time zones, we have different times and dates, but according to Israel time and date, it would begin on March the 20th at 11:24. Now, what that basically means, that is when the sun entered into the first sign of Mazzaroth that the world today called Aries. Very important. So when you read the first book of Enoch, because Enoch has written 3 books, the first book of Enoch gives very specific details what happened on that day. And one of the signs that we can see in the heaven or even see in the earth that happen on this day is that's when you have night and daylight to equal one another. Enoch described it as 9 parts, but when we translate or we convert that time, you will have about 12 hours of night and 12 hours of daylight. However, when you look on timeanddate.com as well as other sites that keep up with the heavens, okay, you would see a slight time difference. It would say maybe like 12 hours and let me see, 12 hours and 6 minutes. Now, to understand why the time is off is because the earth has shifted now. Those who have been watching the heavens, like we have many tribes here on the earth who do not depend on the Gregorian calendar. They actually depend on what the Father made for us, and they would tell you that the earth has shifted for those who have been watching. Okay. So that is proof unto us that we are in the days of sinners. All right. So usually on this day, what's supposed to happen, because remember, we start our day from sundown to sundown. So for example, since the equinox, since the sun will enter into this first sign of Aries on March the 20th at 11:24 p.m., that day would actually start on March the 20th. Move my hand. March the 20th at sundown to March the 21st at sundown. So what that means unto us, that is the last day in the 12th month. That is the last day in the 12th month. Remember, when you read the prophet's writings, you will understand that you cannot split a calendar day when you look at extra timing when the sun does this. So from March the 20th to March the 21st, from sundown to sundown, that is the last day of the 12th month, and that's when the equinox will fall in that day. So on this day, you will have about, not exactly, about 12 hours a night and 12 hours of daylight, but it will vary now because the earth has shifted. So spring actually begins the day after that. It begins on March the 21st at sundown to March the 22nd and go on until we get to the next well, not constellation, dealing with the summer solstice. Okay, so this is very important to know these things. Oh, let's see what else I have to share with y'all about. Oh yeah, about the east point. Typically, the sun is supposed to rise on the 90-degree mark, which is known as the east point. And there's a video on the channel that taught us with the mystery of the burnt offering, no, the mystery of the altar of burnt offering. And I have a diagram that shows you about the east point, the south point, the west point, and the north point. And it's very important to know these things because when we know these things, we begin to understand what the prophets are saying unto us. Because remember, the Father has said that the prophets are given the mysteries of Yah, his mysteries, so they have his answers to your questions to understand what is going on now and why the heavens is doing what it's doing as well as the earth. So the east point is 90 degrees. However, for the spring equinox this year, when I look up for Israel, it will rise on the 89-degree point. And we have to look at the timing that it entered into the star constellation known as Aries, which is the first sign of Mazzaroth. Very important to know that. So that's something to keep up and write in your notes. So if you notice on that day, what would happen is when it rises on the 89 degrees, so it's about one degree away from the east point. Okay. When it sets in the west, it was set at the 271-degree point in the west. So when we add these two numbers together, it made what, 360 degrees. When you understand about the heavens and how things are in a circle or circuit or circumference, then you understand why we are dealing with geometry. Okay, mysteries, let's see what else. So that's something very important to look. So those who are able to get out their beds early in the morning, so you can mark where the sun will rise. If you want to see the 90-degree point, then you will have to get up Monday morning on March the 20th to see the 90-degree point. Now, for the 89-degree point, you will have to get up early on March the 21st and just compare, just use your land marker. And that will help you to determine what season we are in. Also, it helps you determine how long daylight would be versus in comparison to how long night would be. Remember, these things were made by our Father to give us what? How to keep time according to his commandments. Something very important to know if you want to understand those biblical prophecies. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at is the new moon, which is this new moon would be the beginning of our Father's year, known as Abib. Okay. And I was looking at my records, looking at when did we add a 13th month. According to the 358 rule that was prophesied by Enoch, we do not have to add a 13th month for the year of 2022 to 2023. Okay. So not for that year. No 13th month has to be added. So if you notice, the new moon can fall on, okay, either the 22nd day of March or the 23rd day of March. We'll see how, what the heaven give us on that. So those who are keeping their calendar records, you can compare the number of days that would be in the moon circuit for the year of 2022 to 2023. That's very important because if the moon don't show at her correct time, then we know that's a sign unto us as well, Israelites. Okay. Let me see anything else here I need to mention. So this makes sense because if y'all look at the weather, it's been really, really chilly. So hopefully after the equinox, we'll start going back getting into some warmer days. Okay. And those who deal with agriculture, you will see, when to reap your harvest, when to sow seeds, and all that other good stuff as well. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else I need to add here. So just a reminder, if you want to see where the east point is, you will have to get up early on March. Now, because where I'm at, I don't follow daylight saving time, but let me see. Arizona don't follow it. Hawaii and the country Jamaica do not follow it, which is very important to know this. The Father had the sun to rise on the east point in the 6th hour. And that's the reason why he does that. He has the sun to rise within the 6th hour. And it deals with the day when he created our father, Adam. Because remember, all of mankind came from Adam. Very important to know. So when you get up in the morning, for those states that follow the daylight saving time, you will need to convert that. And it's very important to see, what is the stretch of time that the sun rise in the east on the 90 degree. So the 90 degree would be on March the 20th that morning. Now the 89th degree would be on March the 21st. And that is because reason why we see a difference, which is a part of the equinox day, because we have the sun enter into Aries later that night. So therefore, night and daylight, that's your true equinox day from March the 20th, starting at sundown, to March the 21st. All right. So happy looking out to the heavens. It's a beautiful thing to see. And remember, the heavens is a witness unto us as well as the earth is a witness unto us. And as you watch it more or as you observe it more, you begin to understand what the Bible is saying unto us. You begin to understand the prophets' writings, such as Enoch's writings and his first, second, and third writings, as well as many other prophet writings in regards to the heavens. Okay. So for this year, we noticed that the first new moon would not come in 10 days before the sun starts its year. So this upcoming year, we notice that the new moon will start sometime after the sun year. Let me see here. Because we got the 21st, the 20th to the 21st, which is sundown to sundown. That's your equinox day. So the first day of the sun would be the 21st to the 22nd. Yeah, so this year we'll have Abib to start after the sun starts its year. All right, remember the calendar is made up of the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. 3 equals 1. And when you understand that mystery, then you understand the Elohim head or the Elohim Rosh, right? Remember, the Father always gives us physical things to understand heavenly things. For the spiritual going hand with the physical or the carnal. All right, my brothers and sisters, continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it is truly at hand. Make sure that people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize the people in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, for the Lamb set the example of the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism, and the apostles continue in both. Love you all, and shalom.